Jake Paul live on Netflix. 70,000 people in the Texas AT&T Arena. Okay, first off, let's give a shout out to Mike Tyson, one of the legend, Iron Mike Tyson. We love you here on a Mighty Cast. You know, Mike Tyson did impress me in the first 1 or 2 rounds. I mean, he did come out there with a beautiful 1-2, almost clipped Jake Paul. You know, when you go back and look at Mike Tyson in his earlier days, his style hasn't really changed from then to now. Why? Because he's always been one of the shorter fighters, fighting at heavyweight, using the peekaboo, body uppercut, left hook to get to his opponents. But the biggest thing, you know, that I told you guys in the breakdown that I did yesterday, that we dropped today earlier, was Mike Tyson has to get across the void to get to that sweet spot in order to let his hands go. Now, in boxing, there's a lot of things you could do to nullify that. One, you could run away. You have 4 corners, get your back off the ring, you can run away. 2, you can tie him up. Once you tie him up, the ref's gonna have to break you apart, and then that's just burning time off the clock. And the biggest thing about that too is that it is a type of style that you wear and tear. You wear it on your opponent. Over time, when you keep on doing it, it's going to pay out dividends. We're going to be able to land bigger shots. But when the rounds are only 2 minutes and you get a 1 minute rest and you only make first contact with your opponent within a minute and a half left, I mean, I can do play-by-play by the, you know, round 1 fight, goes out there. He's doing peekaboo. Jake Paul's measuring with his hands, measuring. Okay, it's a minute and a half. Okay, you finally get across the void. You're against Jake Paul. It's about a minute and 15. Jake Paul grabs you. He's holding, break, work clean, get out of it. Boom, you have a minute left to work. So there's not really a good chance to actually get a rhythm going for either athletes when you have 2-minute rounds and 1 minute break. I mean, they fought for 8 rounds, which was 16 minutes. 2 times 8 is 16. And then they rested for 8 minutes. So they rested. Their rest was half of the fight time. Does that make sense? You know, when you fight in mixed martial arts, it's 5-5. That's 25 minutes and you get 5-minute break, right? So you're fighting for 4 rounds, or you're resting for 1. Technically, you're fighting for 5, but you get my drift. So that was another big thing too. Another interesting thing that happened was when Jake Paul was trying to measure Mike Tyson, the ref said, don't measure. I wonder why he said that. You know, sometimes when you have somebody who's doing the peekaboo style and having great head movement, which Mike Tyson did have phenomenal head movement, you want to measure out so you can put your hand in their face and it kind of blinds them, and then you pull the left hand out and you hit him with the right hand. That's what's kind of, you measure, right hand. But the ref said, no, you can't measure. I'd be curious why they said that. Another thing I was impressed by Mike Tyson was his chin. He took a lot of shots from Jake Paul, a lot of shots that Jake Paul has landed in the past and knocked out other opponents, actually younger opponents, believe it or not. You know, he knocked out Tyron Woodley, he knocked out Ben Askren, he was able to drop Anderson Silva, he dropped Nate Diaz, but he was not able to drop the legend Iron Mike Tyson. And I think that just shows a credit to how tough Mike Tyson is, even at 58 years old. Now, my kids are sitting there asking, like, why is Jake Paul fighting someone who's older than him? I have to explain to those guys, like, that's what boxing is. You know, when you're in boxing and you're the promotion MVP, along with Netflix, you can able to pull, you know, pick and choose who you're going to fight. Whereas in mixed martial arts, you really can't really do that. A promoter says they have a fight for you. Do you want to fight this guy? Yes or no? And that's how it goes. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, everybody wasn't surprised. You know, Mike Tyson ended up losing this fight to Jake Paul. I did. My heart wanted Mike Tyson to win, but my mind was like, Jake Paul's going to win. He's 30 years younger than him. He is getting better as a boxer. I think now I view all these fights that he just recently had as an amateur.